got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special Wednesday edition of the Attack and Third on the It's a Rap Sports Network. Here to bring you up-to-date Union content and Union get the I would say their signature road win of the season, statement win of the season, prove they can win versus an elite team on the road. And they do just that against Cincinnati. The first time, I believe, since 2001 that they have gone over there, and gotten the win. So they are the first team in the Eastern Conference to qualify for the playoffs with the 1-0 victory over Cincinnati. And if this win doesn't show whatever remaining doubters there are out there that the Union can't go out there and win one of these trophies, whether it be Supporter Shield, U.S. Open Cup, or MLS Cup. This should make them feel a little bit more comfortable, right? Should make every Union fan feel a little bit more comfortable after a win like that, right? And then we'll get into it later, but to be down a man for 30 minutes, Marcana obviously getting the second yellow that led to the red and got tossed. Unfortunately, he'll be out for I think 2 matches. I think I've seen out there. Again, we'll talk about the ugly later from this match. We got some comments. Joe, what's going on, man? Hey, bro, how are you? Doing good. Doing good. Feels good to be back after the Labor Day holiday. Hope your holiday was good. Union made it a good holiday, right? With the I'd say gutsy, resilient win versus Cincinnati, who they've been like the last 5 years kind of had like a mini rivalry with. Joe says the Union continue to be dominant this year. Yeah. And dominant on defense, Joe, right? Um, how'd you like the defense? Even after Magana gets the boot around the 60-minute mark, what'd you think about the defense and how they stood up, the subs that came in and continued that strong defensive performance? This starting lineup that Carnell put out there, everyone, Vasilev was on the bench. He's healthy. That makes me feel a little bit better, having him there for depth. I think Olowski has locked up that starting position in his place, and rightly so. No Donovan at all on the bench. Love to see it. Love to see it. These other guys getting the time that they need. And then of course you didn't have no Bender on the bench as well. So good. Your bench consists of Westfield, Mbizo, Bueno, Rafa, Bedoya, and I mentioned him earlier, Vasilev. But this starting lineup, Rick in goal, Blake's still out with injury. But I feel I may be on the what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe on the odd of the outside of the box with this, but I think I like Rick starting over Blake. I think I feel comfortable with him starting over Blake, even a healthy Blake. Why not? Why not have Blake on the bench ready to go if needed for whatever if Rick is having a bad game. But he had multiple key saves, huge ones. He had the one incredible save in the first half on Denke. He stretched his whole body out, was fully committed. I think this is what we talked. Is his fifth, so six now, six clean sheet on the year. I don't think it's that big of a downgrade from Rick to Blake. It's weird, right? You compare it to maybe football with the quarterback having two quarterbacks. One gets hurt, the next guy, if he does well, he does well. You keep him in, and I think Rick is proven that. Most I've seen him command the defense, especially on set pieces, especially on corners versus Cincinnati, who have elite guys. Getting the guys in the right spots, his ability to get the ball into the opponent's offensive side off of goal kicks. He's got a much stronger leg than Blake. You or Joe saying he loved the defense. Yeah, how could how could you not? The aggressiveness of Glesnes and his tackles, timely tackles. He's wearing that captain's band for a reason. Joe Rick played great. He did. It's I personally think he's proven that even with a healthy Blake, he should get the nod. I really do. This match was physical all throughout, especially in the first half. It had the feel of the playoffs, right? It had everything that you wanted. It had and kudos to the ref for the most part. Let him play. He let him play. Was the first foul on Makana a little ticky tack? Yeah, I think so. I don't think he needed a card. But the second one, you can't do that to a star player like um like Evander. And Makana knew instantly he was gone. He started walking right over to the sideline and started making his way to the locker room. So now he's going to miss the September 13th match against Vancouver. He's also going to miss, from what I understand, the home match September 20th against New England. So in a position where they have gotten by because Carnell has been great with his filling in for spots in the lack of depth on at center back, really from the beginning of what, maybe 5 or 6 games in. 1, 2, 6, 6. I'm pretty sure Glavinovic got hurt in the Orlando match, April 5th. So really, what do they do? Is it Eddie Davis time? Does he get his chance against some teams like New England, DC United? Um, do you see him against Vancouver at all? Do you see him at least on the bench? Is that going to be a game where Harriel, who I thought played very well, I think I like Frankie playing there better though, to be honest with you. Um, I think it's worked out because you have Frankie, the emergence of Frankie Westfield, who's able to play that right that right center back position. You move Harriel over into the center back position, playing next to Glesnes, and I think that's what they'll do for the games Marcana is out. He will be available though, however, um, for the September 16th Open Cup semifinal at Nashville, in between the two suspension games, because the suspension for MLS won't apply to the Open Cup. He should be on the bench. Are you talking about Rick? If Blake if it is healthy, is that what you mean? And Joe's, yeah, the Union 2 also made the playoffs. Yep. So good weekend all around for Union soccer. I know that the Union 2 have been kind of up and down this season compared to last year, where they really dominated on their way to the MLS Cup final. Um, good to see those guys. Good to see those guys. And I believe the newly acquired goalkeeper, George Marks, made his debut for any Union team, I guess, and got the start Sunday for the Union 2 as well. So good shout out, good call on you, Joe, for the Union 2. Um, but yeah, the Makana, it was very disappointing. You could see the lack of experience in moments and big stages like this. And I hope that he learns from it now rather than later on in the season, or really in the playoffs. Get it out of his system now, right? This match was 0-0 heading into halftime. The Union had their chances for sure, I would say. Um, Ty didn't really seem himself. He seemed off. He had a chance early on. Harry will put a ball into the box right on him. And it's usually that he usually has those goals where he's coming across and he's able to put just the right touch on the ball at the right angle, and get a goal. He's at like 16, I think, still. Um, but I feel like that's a goal he usually converts. And that was early on. That was earlier on in the match. I feel like maybe halfway through the first half. But that would have been, I was really hoping that would have gone down. Yeah, it was around the 30-minute mark. But yeah, this goes into halftime 0-0, and not upset, not entirely upset about it. It definitely could have been 1-0 for sure for the Union. But in a match like this with the playoff feels, the way the Union were attacking and pressing at the midfield, um, the way, I mean, Cincinnati, their lives were hell all night. They and then the few chances that they did have, you you had Rick back there making incredible stops. The young kid, I forget his nationality, but he he was quick out there. I believe number 66. He was incredible for Cincinnati. Wasn't bad at all. So first half really went kind of how I expected. It was a like playoff atmosphere. Both teams got their, I would say, best of. They took their best shots right in the first half, and in each team responded well defensively. Joe saying Blake should be on the bench. Yeah, yeah, cool. No, I'm glad you agree because I feel like I'm in the minority. That's the word I was looking for. I feel like I'm in the minority with it when it comes to um, Rick being the full-time starter, regardless of who's injured or who's available. Um, but not long after the second half started, did the Union get things going, right? They got the they got the Milanilowski, who I'm going to touch on for a moment. He has been huge, 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 huge for the Union since being signed and picked up earlier in the summer. So in MLS play, he's got the 1 goal and 2 assists in 3 starts and then 1 substitution appearance, right? And then he has the 1 goal in the US Open Cup match versus the Red Bulls. His creativity, his soccer IQ, his big play ability um has allowed him to really fit in. He obviously is not shy when it comes to um letting one rip, right? Not shy at all. He does not hesitate to shoot, and he's got a rocket, and he's one of those guys who knows one of those forwards, and he can play attacking midfield. He's one of those. He's a goal scorer, and having a guy like him to be able to fill in a spot in the midfield when you didn't think you were going to be able to have that after the Gazdag trade. So, Vasilev, he's not going to cut it out. He's not going to be the answer, the replacement of Gazdag at all. So he was huge, but the play he made and the pass he made, I mean, he put it on a platter um for Bruno, for Damiani, who, holy hell, the way he contorted his body and was able to get around the defender. It was wild to watch the replay over and over and over again. And even if you like slow it down, the way he came towards the ball at the angle and the way he was able to maneuver his body to get around the defender, and then to get enough strength under his header for the goal, I think kind of was a sign of what he has the abilities to do. I mean, you look at all his opportunities, not all, sorry, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of his opportunities have been robbed from great goalkeeping, or he's been just off, right? And to be able to see, and they're usually on incredible sort of, I remember the one, I forget who it was against, but he had like the bicycle kick that just missed, or it was an incredible save. And if that goes, oh my gosh, right? Maybe we're having a different story about Bruno and this signing. Um, Joe's got a comment here. Do you think the Union will be hot going into the playoffs? Um, I do. I think their schedule, Joe, is in favor of them being able to be hot going into the playoffs, right? So your final four games are all teams who New England's out of the playoff picture. I believe they're not eliminated. DC, they're probably eliminated. They're horrible. Um, NYCFC, they're going to be fighting for a better playoff position, and Charlotte, same as well. Um, but none of those teams are going to be playing for the Supporter Shield. So I think the Union have so much more to play for than every single team, maybe minus Vancouver, because they're in the Supporter Shield hunt, but they just lost last week. So they might be finding themselves out of it if next week the Union are able to go to Vancouver and get that win, Joe. So I do think I I think the chances are high for the Union to go into the playoffs hot. Um, I would like to see, maybe, as weird as this sounds, I can see Vancouver being a draw. I would be happy with a draw. I know I said these next two home or away matches, really the road trip, I guess you could say, because you got Nashville in there. Luckily, they have the bye week. A lot of guys are gone for they're representing their country for the World Cup qualifiers throughout this week. So a lot of guys are gone. So luckily, the Union don't have a match this weekend. The slate of games is very few. So I said last week's show that if they can get a win, draw, I would be happy with that. And so I think a draw against Vancouver, and then you can go, you know, 3 wins, 1 draw maybe in there. The final 4 matches of the season. But you got to remember, you got the U.S. Open Cup, so hopefully they're able to go get a win against a struggling Nashville team right now, um, and make it to the final against either who is it, Minnesota or Austin. But to get back to this goal from Bruno that made it 1-0, it was like 5 minutes after the second half started. Um, if he can start connecting on these incredible shots, these stellar goal opportunities. This is what I think his first goal I read in 7 matches. So can't have that. Can't have that at all. So he definitely showed though that he has the capability for the big goal. And then you had the bonehead play, like I said, later on, not too long after. You had the bonehead play from Makana, who got kicked out, got the red card. Um, but then the defense held strong for the final 30 minutes. The subs that came in, um, even a man down, were able to prevent that second goal or the first goal from Cincinnati. The Union themselves had a few opportunities being a man down. And I credit that to Cardinell. He has been terrific coming out of halftime with the right strategy, with the right lineups in place, the timely substitutions, right? Knowing when to make them, doesn't hesitate. He has been incredible at making adjustments at halftime. Um, he knew which guys to play. I think Glesnes being all over the field all match really helped at press and really helped prevent Cincinnati from really getting in any flow. The second they got near midfield, um, they were smothered. Their lives were hell. The Union made Cincinnati's lives hell, and it was so good to see. Finally, right? You had the road match against Miami earlier on in the season. The road match against Columbus. Road match against Nashville, where Union should have gotten the win, right? The home match against Miami, the home match against Columbus, right? Where it's just frustrating, right? They couldn't put him away, couldn't hold on to the lead, um, couldn't continue to, or couldn't get that one goal to get the draw that they needed, right? This match proved that they have it in them to go get that W in those situations. Um, and now that's what, 4-1 win back in March 1st, and now a 1-0 win on the road against Cincinnati. Hopefully, you don't have to see him in the playoffs, right? It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I always say that, but it does seem like the Union, they really got Noonan's number, at least this season. So that's now what, only 26 goals given up in 29 matches for the Union for this top defense and league leading defense. They're the only team that is under a goal per game. So I think this is a good break. This is a good week for the guys who aren't away representing their country to get a break and rest up. And then those guys that are away, congrats to them. The Union now move up in the MLS power rankings to number 1. They flip flop with San Diego. So, all good things, all good things. Carnell was the MLS team coach of the day. This week, I believe, who was on it? I think Wagner was on the team, and then starting on the team, and then Bruno Damiani was on the bench for the MLS team of the match day. So all good things for the Union heading into this final stretch, and it's going to be good. So what's Joe got here? Carnell wins Coach of the Year. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to feel. That's a good what do I say? That's a good kind of segue for hopefully when Pat comes back, because he has been big on Carnell. We both have, but he has been huge on Carnell this season, and I think Pat's going to be in agreement with you on this statement. And it's hard to not agree with you at this point of the season. To this date, it's got to be Carnell. So no, I'm with you, Joe. But let's go ahead and do what we do every week and go around the MLS. And well, let me update this real quick. I forgot to do this before the show. How horrible of me. But yeah, no, now the Union, they stand at 57 points, 17 wins, 6 losses, and 6 ties. And now they head into Vancouver. We'll save that. All right. But let's go around the MLS and predict the few games that are left are this weekend, this NFL opening weekend. So what do we got? Saturday, we got 3 games. So we got 4 games on the slate this weekend. Um, First one, Chicago, New England, 2 teams fighting for playoff position, fighting for playoff berths. I'm gonna go with with Chicago here. Um, I think I think they get the win. Both teams coming off of L's, so they got to do something. Next match, give me we got Houston and LA. Houston actually just recently signed 2 former Union players. Um, I can't think of who it was. Damian Lowe and I can't think of his name. Um, to join another Union player, Jack McGlynn. So Houston kind of becoming the Houston Union over there, but they're taking on LA Galaxy, who what they just recently played in the third place match. They lost in the um, semifinal match against Seattle. Give me. I'm gonna go with LA Galaxy trying to salvage their season. Who's Joe? Joe's got New England. All right, Joe's got New England over Chicago, and Joe's got Houston. All right, so the first 2 we are going against each other. Third match, Seattle and Dallas, 2 teams that are not, I don't believe, they're not in any sort of um, playoff contention. Dallas sitting in 12th, St. Louis sitting in 14th. I'm going to go ahead, just because this is F Dallas week, I'm going to go ahead and say St. Louis gets the win, right? So, and then Sunday, we got Sporting KC versus Austin, Texas. Texas, they are in the 7th seed. They're out of that play-in sort of wild card match that the MLS has that I hate. Hate that match. I hate that play-in stuff. Um, but I think Austin gets the job done to what they guys they have a game in hand, 2 games in hand. Um, to most clubs. So that'll get them above Portland, and I think that they get the job done. Joe's got St. Louis with me, so I like that. I like that. And who you got? Who you got, Joe, for Austin and Sporting KC? But that's all. That's all for this week for matches. So big weekend for football, and that brings me into what else we got. Oh, nope. Let's see. Joe's going with KC. Joe is going with KC. So Joe thinks that KC is trying to spoil the party for Austin of getting into the playoffs. But busy, busy week here as football season is uh is upon us. So there won't be a final word with Matty B tonight or tomorrow due to um the Eagles game. And then tonight is the later on will be, but normally it is Sunday through Thursday. But tonight you will get Mike. Mike's going to be on the call for the Fightins Final post game show. They're in the 7th inning. Milwaukee is up 6-3. So make sure you guys are tuning in to the Fightins Final with Mike after that. And Mike's everywhere right now, guys. Mike's everywhere. Tonight was the debut of props, locks, and parlays. No pressure sports betting. with Mike. So make sure you guys tune into that every Wednesday at 7 p.m. He was great. The debut show was great, and he knows his stuff, especially if you're into college football. Speaking of college football with Mike, make sure you guys tune into the Happy Valley Huddle, the Penn State football post-game show hosted by Mike after every Penn State game this week. I'm not sure who Penn State has this week, but make sure you're tuning into that. And then of course Sundays will never be the same. 9 a.m. Pat, Mike, and Al for P&M in the AM. They'll really be getting you guys ready for NFL Sundays here on out. So make sure you guys are tuning in. I know they're going to be talking a lot of Eagles and getting everyone ready on those Sundays. And then Friday, the wraparound with Pat or Mike, usually. So make sure you guys are tuning into that. And we have a new show to the network. The Steel City Sunday. It'll be a Pittsburgh Steelers post-game show and a pre-game show, I believe. So all covering all Pennsylvania football now. So make sure you guys tune into those guys. If you are a Steelers fan on pre-game, right before the game and then right after the game. So good stuff there. And then Thursdays at 7 p.m. Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn is back. And of course, we have the I don't have a graphic for it here, but we have the Birds Fly By post-game show tomorrow. I'll be hosting that one. You never know who might pop up depending on how the match or how the game goes. So make sure you guys tune into all that. Appreciate you, Joe, as always, for tuning in. Great show as always. Thank you, my man. So yeah, no, appreciate you everyone for watching. Make sure you guys tune in to all the shows that we have here at the network. And again, make sure you tune into that Fighting's Final after hopefully the Phillies come back again on Milwaukee. So things are looking up. We'll be back next Thursday. Next Thursday, yeah, because the Eagles play on Sunday. So yeah, so next Thursday we'll be back on our normal time, 9 p.m. talking about the Vancouver match. So have a good night, everyone.